right, we are here at my outdoor worm bin, and one of the things I wanted to talk about today is how to know when your population in your worm bin is starting to explode. And what we did was we harvested a bunch of castings, and then we counted out some worms and we found some cocoons. All these cocoons were intact, but I don't know if you can see, 2 of them have hatched since we pulled them out and brought them up here to videotape our feeding. So look at that, 2 hatching worms. I'm so excited. All right, what we're gonna do is we are just gonna put them right back into the bin. They're gonna need that moisture right away, so let's go ahead and leave them in there. So last time we were in here, we gave them kind of a big tropical feeding, and we used a little bit unusual bedding. These are some banana leaves that we put in there. We also had some Ezekiel bread that was really moldy we put in here, and it was just an absolutely huge feeding with lots of mangoes, peaches, pears, citrus. We had a red jalapeno, some cilantro stems, and oh my gosh, yep, right away we're seeing a ton. And it's been 15 days since we were in here, so they probably got through a lot of it, but I'm not sure if they got through all of it. And oh my gosh, no, they didn't. Check that out. Absolutely tons of worms right there. So let's go ahead and dig under. And you know what? I thought we might have kind of a bunch of worms here in the center because as we were harvesting, there weren't so many on the outside, but a lot of cocoons. Oh, check it out. There are a ton of worms between these banana leaves. And look at this. That right there are black soldier fly larvae. So something I'm going to do right now, since there's so many of them, is I'm going to take them out of the bin. So one of the dangers of using just straight up leaves in your bins is kind of bringing in critters. And obviously, I think there were some black soldier fly larvae on these banana peels because that is where I'm finding them. I'm just going to take them out and I'll sort them out later. Here they are on a mango seed. And it is April right now here in Florida. And that is one of the signs of summer for sure is black soldier fly larvae. They come around and get inside your bins and lay their larvae. And oh my gosh, look at these worms. Look at these worms. This is just incredible. I know probably some of you have come over from seeing my black soldier fly larvae video. I'll put a link to it. But here, I have not had any real problems with them overwhelming a bin, but they can overwhelm a bin. But certainly with the amount of worms I have in here, they'd be hard pressed to do it. Let's keep digging in and see what else we have here. They haven't really got through the banana leaves as good as I might expect, certainly not as quick as they go through the shredded cardboard, but still look how much the worms absolutely love this. Let's go ahead and dig over here and see if they're coming out to the edge or if they're just kind of concentrated in that feeding zone. But yeah, check it out. So if any of you have had experience with black soldier fly larvae overwhelming your bin, let me know in the comments and kind of let me know what area you're in too, because I want people to understand kind of what that can mean for their bin. And people use them to compost also. Black soldier fly larvae, they don't leave as much poop as the worms do because they use so much of the nutrients to increase their body size and everything, but they can be used for composting. And the flies that they produce are mimic flies, and those flies really don't fly around. They just kind of sit on the edge of a compost pile. So check it out. They still have just a little bit of food to eat, but I think we can give them another fairly big feeding. The big lumps that you see like this are like a mango seed, but all the other stuff, I feel like they've really gotten to it. But let's talk a little bit about how you know when your worm bin is having a kind of a population explosion. First thing is as you're digging through, you might see some cocoons. So we showed you, I think there was about 20 cocoons there. If you haven't noticed cocoons before and all of a sudden you're starting to notice them, then you're probably having a population boom. The next thing is your bin consuming more food? And this one absolutely is. That last feeding was gigantic and they went through most of it in just 15 days. The next is, obviously, does it look like you have more worms? I mean, certainly when we go through the middle here, it does, but even on the outsides, I pull up from the outsides and there's still a lot of worms. So that's a pretty good indicator. If you see more worms, you're probably having a population explosion. And look, there's a cocoon right there on my thumb. And kind of the next indicator of a population explosion is it summertime or springtime? That is when the worms really reproduce a lot. In the winter, they slow down with the cooler temperatures, but in the spring and summer, in an established bin, you're really going to see a population boom, and you'll see it in both your outdoor and indoor bins. I'm not sure why that is, but my indoor bins are having population explosions also. Yeah, just little remnants of tomatoes. I think this is tomatoes, could be a pepper, but look at those seeds right there. We'll see if any of them sprout. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna aerate the rest of it and then we'll begin with our feeding. Worm balls everywhere.
It smells citrusy.
Yeah, it smells awesome actually. All right, we've made kind of a little hole there. I'm just gonna put some toilet paper rolls, and this is part of an egg carton down here just to kind of give it some structure. And then we'll go in with a little bit of shredded cardboard at first, but then I'm going to put some of this old stuff, this banana leaves and stems from here. I think there was a mango seed in there. We'll just put that down at the bottom, and then I'm just going to put another layer of the shredded cardboard right there. And then here's what we had in mind to feed. I've got some watermelon chunks, and I've got a whole bunch of just leftover food scraps from the week. So in goes the watermelon. And let's get the sticker off if we can. Looks like we've got some tangerine peels, a banana peel, a little bit of onion, but all of this will go super fast, and the banana peel will take a little bit longer, as will the onion pieces. And then I put this in my tiny worm bin, but we're going to put it in the outdoor worm bin, and maybe we'll do a race. This is a loofah sponge that we've used over the course of the last year. Then I rinsed it real well, and now I'm going to put it in the bin. So one of our YouTube friends is Anita from Flower Folk Farm over in Australia. She's a great friend to the channel, and we've got some flowers here, just kind of made us think of her, so we'll put those in. And then, you know what, I should probably just do maybe one little handful from here. And then we'll add some lettuce stalks. So as you can see, most of the stuff is fast food. So again, this right here is a tortilla. Okay, that's not fast food. But the idea here is we have a lot of worms, so this is a huge feeding, but most of it is fast food, so they should go through it pretty quick. And it's taken me about 2 weeks to get into the bin, so it gives them time to eat all this. Now, let's say this heated up. I do come in about every 2 days and check and just kind of put my hand on it to see if it's heating up, and it hasn't been so far in the last few feedings. But let's say it did. This bin is big enough so that even if the temperature right here got like 90 degrees or even higher, the worms could make their way over here, and over here it might be like 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you have heating within your bin, go ahead and break up the zone right there. But also, if your bin is big enough, they are going to have a place to go if it gets too hot. Next, I like to put in a little worm chow, which is just expired grains from my pantry. It's all kinds of different stuff at different times. So this batch is about to be over. In fact, we're just going to empty it right here. So the next batch will not be the same. Next, we're going to put in some coffee and tea grounds, just another food source for them and a good way to get rid of your used coffee grounds and tea grounds. And then finally, we'll go in with some pulverized eggshells. Again, another great way to put nutrients in your garden through the worms, and it actually helps them because they have gizzards and they use the grit to make their food smaller. So another good tropical big feeding for them, and even as I put this on here, you can see the worms are all over the place. Just a great bin right now. It is just eating like crazy. And all this food has been previously frozen, and then I thawed out a bit, but the worms are going to have no problem getting away from it if it's too cold. Again, they move around. And when we harvested, I did save up some worms. I think we have 151 that we counted. And surprise, surprise, I'm not the only one that likes to count. The executive producer was in there with me. She was excited about it. So here we go. 150 worms. Let's go ahead and release them. All right, looks like we got one little tail sticking out right there, so we'll help them in. And then we'll just add some more cardboard on top and a little bit more. And one of the things I always do with just this outdoor worm bin is I add water to it. It drains really well, so that's no problem at all. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's kind of a crazy one there with the black soldier fly larvae, and I'm gonna have to pick through the worms there and put those black soldier fly larvae in my compost pile. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope your worm bins are doing well. So happy vermicomposting, everybody. Take care now.